Coffee, the drink with a kick, has a rich history steeped in mystery and legends. Although it is not sure how or when coffee was first discovered, there are two main species, Arabica and Robusta. The former tastes smoother and has a richer flavor than the latter. The earliest known record of coffee is in the writings of the 9th century CE Persian physician Rhazes, who described a beverage named bunchum, an infusion of a fruit called bans, the Ethiopian name for a coffee berry. However, according to one legend, the credit for the discovery should go to a young Ethiopian goat herder called Kaldi. After eating the red berries and shiny leaves of a strange bush, he noticed how his goats were so full of energy that they did not want to sleep at night. Some sources say Kaldi took some leaves and berries to a local monastery and presented them to the abbot, who concocted a drink from the berries, which he found helped to keep him awake through the long hours of evening prayer. By the time Kazis wrote, coffee was being cultivated in Yemen, using plants that Arab traders had brought back from Ethiopia. The country's coffee plantations in the mountains at the southwestern tip of the Arabian Peninsula became famous throughout the Muslim world, and the type of coffee was called Arabica. Turkey was introduced to coffee 1555 by Ozdemir Pasha, the Ottoman governor of Yemen, who brought sackfuls of beans back to Istanbul. The Turks originated a new way of preparing coffee. The beans were roasted before being ground to a fine powder, which was then slowly brewed in hot water. Despite the popularity of coffee, at certain times in its long history, several attempts were made to ban its consumption. In 1675, Charles II of England ordered coffeehouses to be closed and forbade the selling of coffee, chocolate, sherbet, and tea. The ban, however, was never implemented. Public pressure forced the king to revoke it just 2 days before it was due to come into effect. Today, in Vietnam, most coffee produced is the Robusta variety, originally from Central and West Africa. The major coffee producers are Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia. Coffee is also used as a stimulant for medicinal purposes due to its large amount of caffeine. The scientific names of the coffee plant are Coffea arabica and Coffea canephora. Hand-operated mills were used to grind beans into a powder in the early days. After its introduction to the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century, coffee quickly became a favorite at the court of Suleiman the Magnificent, where the post of chief coffee maker was established as a sign of the drink's importance. By the 17th century, coffee had spread to Europe and North America. However, it was the hated tea tax of 1773 that was the spur for Americans to become a nation of coffee drinkers. The Dutch, French, and Portuguese soon found a way to break the Arab monopoly by illicitly obtaining coffee plants from different sources and transporting them to their respective colonies in Southeast Asia, the Caribbean, and Brazil. By the 1850s, coffee had become Brazil's most important export. A decade later, the country was the world's largest coffee producer, a position it still holds today. Did you know that coffee is the world's most popular beverage?